Happy DeweyDEATH, DewSTER, everybody. It's Duck from the palace, from the duck nest. Dick, the first quack from Hackensack, not to be confused with the long-term realization identity of Stizoni and Malcolm, the last quack from Hackensack. But that's at least like 2 billion years in the future. So don't worry about it. But as I said, welcome. Thank you, everybody, for attending. I'm looking forward to us having someone actually attend today. And if they don't, well, it doesn't matter because these are timeless duck messages. And where I explain Dale Dewey Do and look back on the completed life of Achilles incarnate on Earth, who is now gone back to the underworld. Dale is now in Achilles, and he's gone back to the underworld where he ruled for 5,000 years. And basically, he is going back to the underworld to kick the living shit out of the Hellenistic satanic forces that think that feel they control hell, which is an earth concept as opposed to the underworld of the Teaneck, Hackensack, Cosmos, and Achilles. So Fred is the point man of the drive of the campaign this year, the 2026 campaign for the return to Yankee domination. And Dale incarnated here as Achilles to be Achilles, the ultimate and absolute eternal foe of Agamemnon, who, if you are familiar with the Iliad at all, at the beginning of the epic, took Briseis, who was the rightful Achilles, the rightful war prize of Achilles, to uh, uh, basically Agamemnon stole and took Briseis for himself. And so basically, and I gotta stop this basically. So Agamemnon stole Briseis, and well, actually, I think actually the story is that Briseis' father came begging to Agamemnon for his daughter back, and Agamemnon consented, and basically the father took Briseis back. So it wasn't actually like a play by Agamemnon to get Briseis, but it was like a told by the oracle that Briseis had to go back to her father, and therefore Achilles, the greatest warrior and the hero upon whom the success of the Greeks at Troy depended, withdrew from the battlefield. So and basically refused to fight, and so that's basically the basis of the Achilles Agamemnon Trojan, the Achilles Agamemnon historical foundation for what's actually happening now in the new Duck True Troy versus Trojan Hellenistic conflict, the THC. So basically, one of the new THCs is the Trojan Hellenistic conflict. And that's what was initiated on beginning at the Eras Festival of Chaos on February 2nd, 2026, which was actually, it was a different date on, of course, the Jew calendar. But anyway, that began the new Trojan War. And then in this Trojan War, Achilles avenges the slight of Agamemnon. And I should add that Achilles had not only Briseis to hold against Agamemnon, but in desperation for not to be run into the sea by the Trojans, Patroclus, who was Achilles' greatest lieutenant and warrior, convinced or persuaded Achilles to give him his armor, Achilles' armor, which was made by the blacksmiths of the gods. I can't remember. I think it was Vulcan, actually. So anyway, the blacksmiths of the gods made Achilles' armor. So Patroclus, in an effort to reverse the battlefield outcomes that were going on because Achilles had withdrawn from the battle, Patroclus persuaded Achilles to let Patroclus use his armor and lead a counteroffensive. And so very reluctantly, Achilles said yes to Patroclus because that was his best friend, and he couldn't tell him no. They said, but don't go to the wall of Troy. So long story short, Patroclus got the armor and had a successful counteroffensive against the Trojans, but drove to the walls of Troy where he was killed, and I think the armor was like taken by the Trojans. So that was the second thing that Achilles had against Agamemnon, and Achilles, of course, ultimately died by the arrow of Paris to the poison arrow of Paris to his Achilles heel, and that's all different. That's how the tale concludes in the Greek history, the Hellenistic history. But in the Dew history, Troy is Duck's greatest warrior, and actual Troy, THC Troy, Tina Hackensack Community, Troy Robinson. So basically, Troy and I go back to Fairleigh Dickinson, back to I think the late 80s. So he and I have been in the trenches against the Greeks for basically at least 20 years together, holding in Fort Hackensack against the Greeks who were trying to seize it, and led by Agamemnon, and who was Fred. And we all know about Fred. Fred was the warlord. But in this new Duck scenario, Fred is Agamemnon, who Achilles had vowed to avenge against, and not only for Briseis, but more importantly, for the death of Patroclus. And in the same vein, Duck has vowed to, what's the right word? To annihilate and terminate the warlord for his assassination of Dale Dewey Dew. So basically, that's where we stand right now. Dale Dewey Dew was buried in the forever field of fertility forest as a hybrid oak, redwood seed, which was planted by Chipmunk Dale as his final act on Earth to Earth, and by his sacrifice as Dale Dewey Dew, Duck has now made a Fred Dale forever contract with Gaia, not with Earth. Earth is three-dimensional and is now an illusion. So basically, Duck has made, having watched this development for 51 years, and for 51 years since Dale was taken away from Dartmouth, and for his God joke, for 51 years, Dale has been pleading the case of Earth for acceptance into the Teaneck Hackensack cosmos. And his petition has been successfully accepted. Gaia, not Earth. Earth is Fred. So if you want 3 dimensions, you're just going to be stuck in an eternal loop. So in order to break out of the spiral, you have to go Dale to Dale, and but ultimately, no one has any choice because Fred is dead, and Fred is a dead Fred, and so basically, THC is TH. Okay, so here's the basic underworld Dale Devil conflict. So it's basically DEA Fred, who's the devil, Satan, the evil one, the absolute, not darkness, because darkness is Dale. Blackness, oblivion, black hole oblivion. That is who Fred Satan is. The warlord Fred Satan. And Dale, he's the DEA agent, and the Fred. And Dale Dewey the representative of Duck, is a THC commander in control. So it's basically THC versus the DEA. And of course, DeweyDEATH, which day it is, the second day of DewSTER. So basically, yesterday was the first day, the FullDUCKDale of DewSTER, where the Universal theme park was open for the season. The spring season is here, so celebrate. DewSTER is open. Its primary ride is THC, but there are other places across the nation and in the network that are, well, basically it's an American network at this point. There's THC, Dalton, KC, Colorado Springs, and San Diego. Those are the 5 connection points. And if the Mux even exists anymore, if the Freds hear this, then I don't care, because you're powerless to bust my network. So, but in other news, I'm going to pull some tarot now. And I just want to announce that the new meaning, the primary new meaning of TH. Oh, I know what I did. So anyway, in the new scenario of Trojan War, not only did the Trojan horse fail miserably, because even though it was brought inside the Trojan walls, Achilles was inside and killed all the Greek soldiers. Oh, I'm sorry, but this is exciting. Killed all the Greek soldiers within the horse. So basically, he opened the door, and all the Greeks were dead, and the whole idea of the Trojan horse fell apart. So basically, what happened was the Trojan horse fell, and Achilles told Priam, the king of Troy, told Priam, I'm ready to fight for you. Here's what the Greeks are planning. And he unfolded the whole Greek plan to come back after Troy had fallen from within, and loot and plunder, and basically finish the Trojan War. So basically, what the Greeks had in mind with their fleet of 1,000 ships was to kill everybody in Troy through the Trojan horse, and open the doors, burn down loot, and declare total victory for the Greeks, and take back Helen of Troy to Menelaus. So basically, that's how the Greek history unfolds, and that's how it ends. So the fact is that this is 6,000. I keep drooling, and I'm not even taking medication. I keep so this is a 6,000-year war that's now manifesting on the Earth plane in actuality, and Gaian forces are the Dale Ducks, and Earth forces are the Fred Humans, the Mucks. So because so basically we've driven Fred off the planet, so Gaia is secure from Warlord, but now it's time to drive Fred from next to T-Neck Hackensack Cosmos, and through that to totally dematerialize it from all higher verses. So speaking of verse, I have oh, I was going to a road too, but so this is like a little old now, but it's called Approaching the Chinese New Year. If you don't know, I think February 20th, February 19th, February 20th, I think, was the day that the Chinese New Year began. It was the end of the year, the snake of shedding, of totally re-transforming and everything. And basically, I've shed the skin of Dale DeweyDEATH, and I become Duck. And one thing I wanted to say is that Dale DeweyDEATH is personalities, but Duck is my identity. So with that in mind, the year of the snake has given way to the year of the fire horse. So obviously there's like a major transformation and transmutation going on. So this is called Approaching the Chinese New Year. The snake has shed itself into non-existence, and the red stallion fire horse cavorts on the plane of fertility as I see her longing to stride upon her back and fly into the wind of the currents of unknowingness. So that's one of my latest poems. That's actually a duck poem, and to give you a dew poem, we'll go here, and we might even get to a Dale poem, but we're trying to turn life around. It's hard introducing yourself when all know your deity upon whom they call, when they encounter trouble in their life which is torn apart suddenly by strife. This is the fact in which I take no pride, for long gone are days of my delusions, since my true self I do no longer hide, as I pass my time without illusions, understanding I'm out of my mind, and that I must forever take my meds if I want to avoid hospital beds. That's revised now. Because to my illness, and I am not blind, but in my determination I'm strong, though it might turn out that I'm all wrong. And what we're going to find out in the next month, the month of DEWSTER, which is the month of cleaning house, of going through the whole dialing cycle to Stizonian, just to give an idea of actually what it is, how the month should progress from Fred Doc to Ish Kebab or Stizonians. So I don't think I drew a tarot card. So let's see what we got here. Oh, the King of Wands. Okay, well, the King of Wands is basically the King of Wands is like the King of Power. That's basically where Dale DeweyDEATH has ascended to. Dewey is out of the Dale of Dew. He's ascended to the summit, and that's where he's built his permanent castle, his permanent palace, his permanent estate on top of the Everest of the Omniverse. So that's the portal, that's the gateway to Disneyverse, but that's way in the future. Basically, we're just talking about getting Dale from the Valley of Dew to the height of Dewey, which is how the integration of Dew, Dale, and Dewey is supposed to work. And I just today I came up with, well, not actually today, but in the last few days I've come up with a whole new way of looking at Dew, Dale, Dewey. The 3-letter, the 4-letter, and the 5-letter source of divinity, of design. There is no divine, there's only design. So basically, if you're thinking in terms of God, you're giving yourself a glass ceiling that you're never going to break through. So basically, the 3 Ds are do, which this is the duck Holy Disney Trinity. Instead of Father, Son, Holy Ghost, this is the Dale, Dewey, Dew dichotomy, which is the Holy Trinity. So I'm a Disney chipmunk because of Chip and Dale. I told you, and I'm also a Disney duck because my initials are Dew. My father's initials are Lou. My best friend's name is Hugh, and Hugh's father's name is Donald. So you get Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Donald. So basically, that's Dale and Dewey. But there's also Dew, which is Dale Edward Walsh, which is Walter Elias Disney backwards. So that's why I say I do Arrowhead Eye. And having reached duck, I am finally at the stage in my human life where I do Arrowhead Eye. I embrace and take Rose Caroline Shawn as my Velvet Empress, my Queen Duck, and I just want to say I love you, and there's anything anybody can do to further come between us, and oh no, oh, I do wear what I. Okay, so this is like the God, Son, Holy Spirit progression in terms of Dale. Do is presence, the 3 P's, presence in essence. Dale is place in space. Dewey is personality in actuality. And duck is person, present is person. Well, I haven't figured out about duck yet. So basically, do presence of essence. Dale place of space. Doing personality and actuality. And that's all you have to worry about in order to ground yourself and to basically be at peace and just be in your body and be on the 4th dimension of Dale. Because if you were stuck on the 3rd dimension, which many people are going to be until they discover themselves, until they discover their core essence, which is Dew, not God, it's Dew. And Dew's 5th incarnation was Lord Dew God. So there was a Bachelor Dew, Dr. Dew, Master Dew, Commander Dew, and then Lord Dew God. So those are the 5 levels of Dew, the 5 levels of Dewey or DeweyDEATH, DeweyDEATH, Dewey Stealth, Dewey Health, Dewey Wealth, Dewey Duck. So those are the 5 levels of Dewey. And then Dale has God Dale, Straight Dale, no, Sober Dale, no. Okay, so Dale is sort of like complicated, but God Dale, Sane Dale, Straight Dale, Sober Dale, Fred Dale. And Fred Dale is the last movement of Dale's completed life. And my Christian mentor wrote Pedro Adeo wrote a book called The Completed Life about Jesus Christ, and I haven't read it, but I got the gist of it, which is Jesus is the only human who ever had like a completed life, and that's why he went. That's why he was risen. But basically, I, as Dale Dewey do, as Stuck, want to thank Dale Dewey do for showing me what the example of what a fully realized human 70-year life really is all about, and bringing it to my attention. And that's why, by his dissolution, we are Duck is making eternal contract, unbreakable contract, eternal unbreakable contract with Gaia and beyond to be in the Teaneck Hackensack cosmology. So congratulations. If you're hearing this, if you made it this far, then you're definitely on in the duck and above dimensions, and you've left 3D. And but even if you are in 3D, in order to get to 4D, in order to get to duck, just always consider whenever you're in indecision or confusion, to do Dewey, do 3 letters, Dale 4 letters, Dewey 5 letters. So basically, Dewey is the Christ consciousness in the Dale personality constellation. But altogether, Dale Dewey do have been aimed at the heart of ducks for the last 51 years. Oh, and why do I say 51 years? So I think I went into this yesterday, but my schizophrenic lunacy began with the full lunar eclipse on May 25th, 1975, and it officially ended 3 days ago, or 2 days ago, 3 on the lunar eclipse at the Dale Dawn lunar eclipse, which ended the long, dark night of the Earth's soul and of Dale's soul. And basically, the sun of the new Dale has risen on the personalities that make up the identity of Duck, and the identity of Duck is at last shining. So I think that's a good place to stop. I'll yeah. Actually, I'll end with the Dale poem to remember the founder. So let me see. This is called in Zuna the Perfect Form. If you're my wife, it's written in the stars, far from planet of reactors and cars, where men pristine viewers river daily pollute, and criminals without discretion shoot. Innocent folks who cannot safely hide from the barrel of mortality's gun. But if you turn out to be my soul bride, I will live forever in light of sun, a radiant brilliance of your beauty, which makes me want to compose sacred verses. To neutralize solitudinous curse, I must overcome as a creative duty, to immortalize your porcelain face, filling all who see it with sublime grace. So that's a Dale poem from Seraphim on the Cusp of Spring. This was published and it's available at Amazon. I have 5 books available at Amazon. D.E. Walsh is the name of the author, and I have Teraphim on Cusp of Spring, and also Entering New Era of Dew. That's my latest. I'm planning on publishing something very soon. I haven't done anything since 2018, but it's coming up on exactly 30 minutes. So Have a great day. Have a great day, everybody, and just keep ducking.